Now let's dive deep into this big LGBTQ story for today. I'm Von Biggs, and let's queer up health. The politics of health leads HHS to cancel $12 million sex ed program. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services has canceled a $12 million grant for California's sex ed curriculum over what they say in a press release is a lesson plan that will, quote, encourage kids to contemplate mutilating their genitals, end quote. In reality, the curriculum states that some people may not feel like the gender they appear on the outside. The letter from HHS claims that gender ideology is irrelevant to teaching abstinence and contraception and unrelated to any of the adult preparation subjects. That the grant covers. Acting Assistant Secretary to HHS's Administration for Children and Families, Andrew Gradison, spoke about this issue on Fox News saying, quote, if you continue to push radical ideology on our children, we will not pay for it anymore, end quote. Gradison added that about 40 more states will soon be put on notice regarding their PrEP curriculum. I did say PrEP. Quote, stop indoctrinating the next generation. They deserve better. They need to learn how to read and write, not this anti-science agenda, end quote. The Federal Personal Responsibility Education Program, or PrEP as they're calling it, which this grant was part of, supports states in teaching students about contraception and abstinence. It is also intended to educate students on adolescent development, parent-child communication, and healthy relationships, and other topics in which gender identity is a vital part of the subject matter. You know, we're seeing this happening more and more in our country, but we're also seeing a lot of students that are now going into college that have no idea. They have no idea when it comes to, protection, sex, abstinence. They're not taught any of it.
This is a legacy that's I'm not going to attribute only to Trump administration, but also to the Bush second administration. You know, the abstinence-only education, which wrecked sexual education, and end up hiking teenage mothers' birth rates, end up basically spreading the STIs, across the board, and lead to now a few generations of college kids who walk into college understandably sexually active, but not knowing how to protect themselves in any way. I mean, when I was in school, and this is eons ago, we were taught about condoms. Well, granted, I went to a private school, so it wasn't a public school curriculum. Plus, also $12 million for California. Oh, let me think, where can California find that $12 million? The fourth largest economy in the world outside of the United States. I'm pretty sure Gavin Newsom can just throw a pile of money and correct that problem. And I think rich blue states should do that for themselves. And your red states, students don't know how to take care of themselves. Then the state will have to deal with it, don't they?
And did you catch Gradison's resting bitch face? Oh my God!
He is contraception.
It looked like he was getting ready to do a glamour shot or something. I'm sure there is a glamour shot.
No, a look at him is contraception.
Lingerie somewhere, and the cancellation of a sex. Look at that! Look at that puss. Makes me look good. The cancellation of a sex education program sounds like an anti-science agenda, if there ever was one.
There wasn't, the whole idea of that anti-science is that the conservative talking point is, what is a woman? What is a woman? What is a woman? Like as if it is gotcha. You can't define what a woman is, therefore you're anti-science, you're ignorant. There's only two genders. Look, gender science and sex are two different things.
Very different.
We know that already, but because of the general ignorance of the public at large about sex and gender, they can spin this into this quote-unquote ideology. It is not ideology, it is science. They are facts. And of course, this administration like to ignore facts. They like to ignore climate science. They like to ignore vaccine science.
They're the ones with the radical ideology, by the way. It's them.
Well, that is a big LGBTQ story for today. There is no other queer nonprofit media platform like this in the entire world. Support our LGBTQ stories by subscribing and sharing Queer News Tonight.